Hello, and welcome to the fall 2016 semester of Engineering Ethics at NJIT. I'm Dan, and I'll be your instructor, and I'm excited to work with you this semester. This video will be a quick overview into the assignment schedule and the requirements for the course. It's designed to supplement the syllabus. By all means, you should read the syllabus. The syllabus will contain all the details you need to understand the course, for understanding the grading policy and so on. This video is supposed to just introduce briefly some of the key points to get you started. So let's go ahead and jump into the presentation. Yeah, so like I said, this is NJIT, Phil 334. The course is listed in the catalog as 344. It's a humanities requirement for many majors. So if you're not an engineering major, if you don't plan on becoming an engineer, don't worry, this course is still for you. Website at moodle.njit.edu. We're going to be using Moodle for most of our assignments this semester. All assignments will be posted and graded on Moodle. So check that out as soon as possible. Make sure you're familiar with how Moodle works. Like I said, my name is Dan, and I'll be your instructor. I have a PhD from the University of Illinois in philosophy. I also have a bachelor's degree in computer science that I earned it from the University of California, Riverside. I'm a full-time lecturer here at NJIT. I'm the humanities lecturer, and I teach several sections of engineering ethics every semester. This is also the first year that I'm doing these video lectures, and so they might be a little rough this first time around. Please bear with me. Literally hundreds of students take this course every semester, and I want it to be as pleasant an experience as possible. So your feedback helps. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please email me at estrada@njit.edu. This is the best way of getting in contact with me. My goal is to respond to emails within 24 hours. If you don't hear a response within 24 hours, please be patient and send another email. Chances are it got lost in the shuffle. I have lots of students every year, so I appreciate your patience. My office hours are in Cullimore 420. On Wednesday between 10 and 12 in the morning, I will have my office door open, and you should feel free to stop by, chat about class, chat about your grades. The only day I'm not on campus is on Friday. Every other day, if there's some better time you'd like to meet, please email me and schedule an appointment. In that vein, here is the lecture schedule this semester. I have 4 sections of engineering ethics this semester. I have 3 in-class sections and 1 online section. So you see that sections 1 and honor sections 1 meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Section 3 meets on Mondays and Thursdays. And I also have an online section which doesn't have an official meeting time, but I am holding an online video hangout on Mondays between 12 and 1:30. For a normal class period. I know a lot of online students weren't preparing for this particular time to be open. Unless you're an honor student, attendance is not mandatory for any of these sections. Attendance is optional, and you receive extra credit, bonus credit, for attending any one of these online live or live sections. The exception is if you're an honor student. If you're an honor student, then attendance in the honor section of the course is mandatory. You're allowed 3 unexcused absences, but after 3 unexcused absences, it starts to eat into your grade. For all of the students, attendance is optional, and you earn extra credit, up to 5% extra credit for just attending these live lectures. If you're an online student and you can't attend the online section or any of the other sections, don't worry. The online hangout will be posted, the video will be posted online, and you'll be able to watch that at any time until Friday to earn the online credit. The other important thing is that any student from any section can attend any of the other sections. The honor students have to go to the honor section, but any other student can attend any section for credit, including online students. So online students can show up at one of the live class sessions and earn their attendance credit for that week. And live class students can attend the online sections and earn credit that way as well. The attendance policy here is meant to be as flexible and encouraging, inviting as possible to encourage you to show up and participate in these discussions. These classes are primarily discussion-based, but everything you need to engage the class already exists in Moodle online, and you can start doing that today. These online sections are designed to give you an additional opportunity to engage the material, engage your peers, and engage me, the instructor. So I will try to keep the lecturing to a minimum in these discussion sections and really have it be about moderating a discussion between the students. So show up if you're interested in the material. If your grade is suffering and you want to boost it a little bit, show up and engage in class. So that's just extra credit attendance. The core of the class is right here. This is the lesson plan that structures the core of the class. The class consists of 15 lessons. Each lesson has a lecture with some reading material, a quiz on that material, and then a discussion forum where you can write an essay and engage your peers. There's 15 of these lessons. Each one has a separate lecture, quiz, and forum. You need to complete all 15 for full credit. For each lesson, you must read over the material, read the lecture. The lecture introduces the material, read over the material, and then to the point that you can take the quiz and write a short essay that you post in the discussion forums. It can be a written essay or it can be a video essay, a vlog. Either way, you're going to post it in the forums in order to start some discussion among your peers, and then you're going to engage in some discussion. You have to reply to some of your peers in the forums. And that's basically it. Every lesson consists of this over and over and over again, 15 times. There's a couple of exceptions. The big exceptions are in lessons 10 and 11, where you will have to conduct an independent scholarly research project. And I'll talk about the details of that shortly, but that's it. There's no midterms and finals. You have this research project in weeks 10 and 11, and that's your class. So the rest of this video is just going to be going over the details of this to make sure that you're on track. The biggest detail right off the bat is that you need to purchase the textbook. It's this Ethics in Engineering by Martin and Chetzinger, 2005. We're using the 4th edition in the class, and yes, you have to use the 4th edition. Some of the quizzes, some of the assignments in class will refer to specific pages and cases described in the 4th edition of the book that aren't in previous editions of the book. So please get the 4th edition of the book. It's not very expensive. It's like $15. It's not $400. And it's in the bookstore used for $15, or you can get it on Amazon pretty easily. All the other material will be made available for you on Moodle. I don't have a digital copy of the required textbook. If you find me a digital copy of that textbook, then all future NJIT students will have a digital copy of this textbook. My lectures every week, I write a short, it's just about a page and a half, and it's really designed to introduce the course themes and give some context for the different readings and videos that I want you to watch. It'll also consist of these little introductory presentations that I'm preparing, and I'll also give a little introductory lecture. And all that stuff will be on Moodle for you to read at your leisure 2 weeks in advance of the due dates. So you'll have 2 weeks to look at this material and prepare your assignments. Now, it's a lot of material that I give you. I have way more reading than you can possibly do in those 2 weeks. Your goal is not to read all of it or to master all of it, but your goal is to engage with it enough that you can take the quiz and write an essay and talk about it with your peers. You should expect to spend about 5 hours every week on just this course, 5 hours to complete each lesson. Maybe 2 hours of reading, 2 hours of writing, and an hour to take the quiz. Maybe less time to take the quiz, maybe a little bit more time writing. It's up to you to manage your time wisely. To help you manage your time, I've divided the readings into required readings and optional readings. The only difference between the required and optional readings is that the required readings will appear on the quiz, and you have to take the quiz, so you have to look over at least those required readings. But I also supply a lot of optional readings. The idea is that everyone has to write some essay on this material, and if everyone's writing on the same topic, it'll get boring pretty quickly. So I supply a lot of material to try to keep the diversity up and keep people engaged. So try to find something that you're engaged in to contribute. All right, so let's go over this in detail. So the quizzes, you have a quiz every week over only the required readings. Quizzes are usually very short, 5-question multiple choice. Sometimes they will involve short paragraph responses. I'll give you a case and you have to give a response to the case. It's about a paragraph, 200 words or so. None of these quizzes have time limits. You can take the quiz at your leisure. You can take the quiz while you're reading the material that the quiz is on. A quiz should never take you more than an hour. It should probably take you more like half an hour, just looking through the material. The goal of the quiz is not to test your mastery or comprehension of the material. There won't be any tricks. The goal of the quiz is to get you to actually open up the documents and look at them, to motivate you to actually do the readings, to find out what you want to write about. Now, the quizzes are due every Friday at midnight. That's into Saturday morning, Fridays at midnight. And quizzes are worth 20% of your final grade. In addition to the quizzes, there's the forum discussion. The bulk of your grade is in the forum discussion, 60% of your grade. So this is a serious part of your grade, and you should spend most of your time and effort in the forums. You have to write a post, an essay. Your essay should be about 350 words, about a page and a half, on the material of your choosing that addresses the lesson themes in some way. 350 words, page and a half is one option, but I'm also giving you the option of creating a short video, a vlog, and your vlog should be at least 3 minutes long at minimum. In addition to your post, you also should reply to some of the other students. You need to leave 2 replies at least of 150 words or more. 150 words is about a paragraph. The idea is to engage critically in the discussion of the material, to respond to your your classmates and to engage in some interaction over the material. So your 350-word post and the quizzes are due at the same time on Fridays at midnight. And then the replies are due a few days later on Tuesdays at midnight, Tuesday going into Wednesday. Your post and your quiz and your replies together constitute 60% of your discussion grade. So that's a big part of your grade. Please take it seriously. Now, the idea is that you're supposed to write on some material of your choosing. The goal is for you to be motivated to write about something that you're interested in, that you're motivated to write about for a page. I don't want you to just write. There's not going to be a set prompt that you have to respond to every time. If everyone responded to the same prompt, it will be really boring reading it over and over again. So I want you to pick some material that you're interested in yourself. Sometimes these open-ended assignment instructions get a little bit confusing for NJIT students. So this is your class, use it. Write about anything related to lesson theme. You don't have to write about the required reading material. You don't have to write about the questions I raise in lectures. In my lectures, I'm trying to frame some of the reading to introduce you to it and get you to engage it. But you don't have to respond to all of that material. You don't have to respond to the questions I raise. If you want to, go ahead. But if you don't find anything interesting, you want to write about something else, write about something that you're interested in. If you have some background, if you have job experience relevant to the questions, or if you have research background, you're an expert in some issue, bring that material into the class discussions, contribute it, and it helps enrich the class. I know this is hidden behind my little avatar, but if you're confused about what to do, ask yourself, what are the themes of this class? Do you have any strong personal feelings about the material? Do you have background or experience? Do you care at all? What do you care about? Is any of the reading interesting to you at all? What do the other students care about? What are they writing about? That can help, looking at the forums before you write your post can help you figure out what the other students are talking about to help you frame your post. Maybe you don't want to write about something that none of the students are writing about. None of the students are writing about some article that I shared, so maybe you want to write about it. You might also take a sort of meta-analysis. What are the common debates surrounding these issues? Which of those disagreements are reasonable? Which are unreasonable? Which do you expect to be common in your career? Which do you expect to encounter in your future? How do you reconcile disagreements on these issues? There's lots of material to talk about, and I want you to find something that you're comfortable and engaged with to contribute to the course. Okay. So that's the forum discussion. A 350-word reply due on Fridays, or a 3-minute video due on Fridays at midnight, along with the quiz, and then your replies to other students' posts. You can reply to your own post, and that does count as your reply credit. As long as you're engaged in the material, that's what matters. So 20% for the quiz, 60% for the discussion. The other 20% is your independent research project. Independent research projects are in weeks 10 and 11. That's the 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, November 11th and 18th, is when those assignments are due. The assignment is to conduct scholarly research on some historical case. So we'll be going over lots of case studies in class, and then in this project, you're supposed to pick your own case study to do research on. Should be a real historical case, and you should do scholarly research, finding primary sources, government reports, film footage, first-hand accounts. Find primary sources or scholarly journal articles, right? Academics talking about either the science, technology behind a bridge collapsing, what went wrong from a technical standpoint, or from an ethical and social, political, legal maybe standpoint. If you want to look at the policy implications or legal implications of some of these engineering ethics cases, that would also be appropriate, and you can find those in the academic journal articles. I will talk more about how to do the scholarly research here. The important point now is that you have to do this research. It'll take some time for you to do this research. You're going to have to go to a library. You're going to have to look around online. And you're going to have to prepare an annotated bibliography that discusses your sources and why they're important, in addition to a normal length post and replies for both lesson 10 and 11. The idea is that in lesson 10, you're going to present the facts of your case in a sort of neutral way, just to get everyone up to speed on what happened in your case and why it's important. And then in lesson 11, you're going to give an ethical analysis of your case. What went wrong? Whose responsibility is it, and why? How do we prevent these things from happening in the future? That research project is worth 20% of your grade. So these projects together constitute your entire grade this semester. Each lesson is worth 100 points. Your quiz is worth 20 points, and the full discussion is worth 80 points. That's 50 points for your post, and 15 points each for your replies, and you have to submit 2. So 15 and 30 is 80, plus 20 is 100. You have 13 of these normal lessons at 100 points each. So it's 1,300 points for these normal lessons, and then 2 research weeks at 150 points each. So it's 300 points for the research, 1,300 points for the normal lessons. Right, so those research weeks are the 2 exceptions. There's 2 other exceptions. In week 1, there's no quiz in week 1, but you do have to post an introduction in the introduction thread and to change your Moodle avatar to have some picture that we can recognize you by. If you do those 2 things, you get 20 points, and that counts instead of your quiz. There's also no quiz in week 15. Week 15, you're supposed to just post what I learned essay. Posting that essay will give you 100 points. No quiz, no replies. Less than 15 either. And then weeks 10 and 11 are your independent research project. There's no quizzes those weeks. It's just your project, and then instead of the quiz credit, you get 20 points for your annotated bibliography. Independent research weeks are worth 150 points each, so 300 points. That's more than a normal week. It's 50% more than a normal week. So those research weeks are important. And then your total grade scale is almost a straight scale. Out of 1,600 points, over 50% will pass the class with a D. Less than 50% will fail the class. It's really hard to fail the class. Most people fail the class by just not doing the work or doing it late. And I have a very strict late policy. So in this presentation, I will eventually put the grading video here, the video that goes over my grading policy. But I don't have that ready yet. You'll be able to catch that later. And I'll post it in the Prezi when I'm done. I'll also post it on Moodle when I'm done. But one thing about the grading policy that you should know right now is my late policy, which is very strict. The core of this class is about engaging discussion with your peers, and that means you have to be there when it happens. So if you're late to the discussion, you sort of miss out on the value of those discussions. You miss out on the educational value, and so you're also going to miss out on points. So remember, posts and quizzes are due Friday at midnight. On Saturday morning at 12 a.m., it's going to be considered late for posts. No quizzes will be accepted late. Quizzes are already online right now. You can take them right now. And you can take them well in advance of the deadlines. So there should be no excuse for not taking a quiz. So I will not be allowing late quizzes to be taken. Late posts will be accepted for 1 week. Late posts are considered late on Saturday morning. Late replies are considered late on Wednesday morning. And they will be accepted late for 2/3 credit for 1 week after the due dates. So posts are due on Friday. 1 week later, you can still turn them in for 35 points instead of 50 points. Replies will be good for 1 week for 10 points instead of 15 points, but only for 1 week. After 1 week, late work will not be accepted at all. It's your responsibility to stay on top of this assignment schedule. Really, the assignments themselves are easy. Your main challenge this semester is just staying on top of the schedule. And this late policy is designed to enforce you to stay on top of that schedule. There's the exceptions are, I will grant extensions if you know that there's some big professional thing that you have to do in advance. So if there's some conference, if there's a midterm or a big class project that you know is going to eat up a lot of your time and you're not going to be able to make a deadline, let me know in advance, at least 48 hours in advance. I will not, anything project like this, you should know about 48 hours in advance. And I'm not going to give extensions for anticipated excuses less than 48 hours in advance of a deadline. So if you know something's coming in advance, or something like a pregnancy is due, in November, and you expect that to happen, I understand that that's going to eat up your time. You're not going to be able to do your assignments that week. If you let me know in advance, that'll all be good. Also, if there's an emergency, legitimate emergencies happen. There's a death in the family. There's a hospital emergency that you're rushed to the emergency room. Something like this can eat into your schedule. If there is a legitimate excuse, the course policy is that it must be verified through the Dean of Students. So bring your excuse to the Dean of Students. They'll check your medical reports. in a secure and private fashion, and they'll let me know, they'll verify it to make sure it's legitimate, and then they'll let me know. If I get a legitimate verification from the Dean of Students, then I'll accept late work without penalty, according to this policy. But all legitimate excuses must be verified through the Dean of Students. If I don't get a verification through the Dean of Students, then I won't accept it. Usually the way this works is that the Dean of Students takes some time, but if you have an emergency, go ahead and do the work when you can, and then get the letter from the Dean of Students later when you can. I'll go back and regrade work if I get an excuse from the Dean of Students. If it isn't a verified excuse from the Dean of Students or an extension that I got in advance, then I will not accept late work. I will not accept late quizzes, and then any late work will get this 2/3 penalty for 1 week, and then after that week I won't accept it at all. That's the late policy. Get used to it. The late policy hurts a lot of students. The grading policy hurts a lot of students. Make sure you pay attention to those and factor them into the way that you're doing work for this semester. But there are ways of regaining credit. There's lots of extra credit opportunities. The attendance credit that I've already mentioned is a big way of gaining credit for class. You'll earn 5 points per lesson. That's a quarter of a quiz grade for attending any class. So I will do a Monday online hangout on Monday. If you watch that and sign in at any point throughout the week until Friday, you will get this 5 points for attendance credit. In other words, this is basically free points. As long as you show up and sign in every week. Now, there's a trick. You have to watch the video, and during the video, I will give a secret word. You need to watch the video to find the secret word in order to sign the attendance sheet and get credit. If you sign the attendance sheet after the deadline, or you don't have the right secret word, then you won't get credit for that week's attendance. I'll also give bonus credit, 2 points bonus credit for live attendance, either in class or during the hangout when it happens. So if you show up on Mondays during the hangout, you'll get 2 additional points. Or if you show up to any class and sign in sign-in sheet that goes around class, you will also get 2 additional credit points, in addition to the 5 points every week. So weekly attendance, you can earn up to 75 points. If you would also do the live attendance, you can earn up to 165 points. That's 10% of your grade. That's a lot of points that you can earn. This is all extra credit. Remember, none of this attendance is mandatory, and you can earn this credit from attending any sections listed in the syllabus. So please come to class. I'd love to talk. The people who show up to class tend to have really great discussions, and it's usually only less than 10 people show up for class on a regular basis, and that's a group that you can have a really good conversation with. So show up to class. It'll be a lot of fun. If you can't make any of the classes, you still have a couple of extra credit opportunities. There are essay opportunities. There's a forum in lesson 15 that you can reach right now, but there's one extra credit opportunity that's discussed in lesson 7 and another in lesson 11. And there will be deadlines for these extra credit essays, so check Moodle for those deadlines. All in all, you can make up an entire letter grade easily with the extra credit opportunities. So if you feel like you're doing poorly in class, if you feel like you're not being graded, if you're not earning the points that you want, start attending class, start attending the in-class sections or the online hangouts. You will make up those lost points. That's it. Make sure to watch the grading video because I'm going to go over the details of grading. There's a lot of details for my grading policy that you'll want to check out. There's some tricky things there that you'll need to pay attention to. Also, read the syllabus. All the details of the grading policy and everything else is in the syllabus. Sign into Moodle. Check out the course, check out the forums, check out how they work. Set your avatar. Setting your avatar is required for credit in the introduction forums. You also have to fill out a little introduction, who you are, where you're coming from, and so on, in the lesson 1 discussion forums. And that's all due on the 9th. In addition to your first post for lesson 1, after reading the lecture and going over the lesson 1 material, there's also a post. There's no quiz for lesson 1, but there is a post in addition to your introduction and setting your avatar. That's all due on Friday, so check it out as soon as you can. And good luck. I hope this video helps get you introduced to the course. I'm excited to work with you this semester. I hope I see you in one of the online or live sections, and I hope you enjoy the course.